I know every Gohan fan, upon reading this chapter, at the very least the first half of Dragon Ball Super Chapter 54, was like, yeah! Gohan going in again, finally! It's been a while. The Moro arc has been almost consistently just focusing in on Goku, Vegeta, you know, the big key players. But this chapter, baby, Gohan going in, and it took some cheating. It took some Game Shark. Any old people or older people know what Game Shark is, or we take it back, a Game Genie, in order for OG73 to do something. But for the time being, Gohan was going in this chapter. That ending though, the Angels, what is going on? Another training session incoming. Like, this is about to be intense, baby. This was intense. Let's talk about it. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. That's right, people. Dragon Ball Super Chapter 54. We got some Gohan action, and I was all for it. The boy wonder that has been shafted time and time again. I want to say, since the Tournament of Power, throughout the Moro arc, I don't even think we've seen Gohan. He wasn't relevant at all. I don't even remember if he was he even shown in the Broly film? Because obviously the Moro arc takes place after the Broly film. So I'm not sure if we've even seen Gohan since the Tournament of Power. It's been that long if you really think about it. We've had a whole movie, which if the anime comes back at some given point, they're probably going to do the same thing where they're going to readapt the Broly film into the anime and then probably do the Moro arc. So there's a lot of content already if you think about it, if the anime was to return. But that's a side note. We haven't seen Gohan doing his thing, and even in the Tournament of Power, a lot of people felt like Gohan didn't get his just dues. I'd argue to a certain degree, like, he had some pretty good moments. I think it was dope. I wish he would have been at the end. It would have been awesome, especially if the anime teased it, like if it was going to be Goku and Gohan. I want to say it was one of the endings, or yeah, it was one of the endings where you see Goku and Gohan together. I would have loved for them to be, you know, father and son at the end of the Tournament of Power. It didn't really play out that way due to Frieza, right? If I'm not mistaken, again, with the anime, I get confused with the anime and manga, but it was Frieza. You know, he basically allowed Frieza to continue, and he took the L and was eliminated, and it was like, alright, but now we here, baby, and OG73 got his ass whipped by Gohan in this one. I was loving it. I mean, from the cover page, they was telling you, Gohan's here, baby. He was jabbing him, kicking his ass, and OG73, like, yo, what you really thought? Like, the thing about it is, why Gohan was able to do this is because they were miscalculated. Their calculations was all wrong because they had info from Earth 10 million years ago. Even at a certain point in the chapter, Moro was like, hey, 10 million years ago, what, wasn't Earth just a bunch of monkeys? Like, what the hell's going on here? You know what I'm saying? So their info was very outdated, but Gohan showed them the folly of their ways, mate, because he was just kicking so much tail. I loved it. The first, you know, I want to say what was like maybe 5-10 pages, I can't really remember, until Gohan switched his outfit up. Piccolo gave him that, and I love that. You know, everybody always says the memes and everything, but it always just feels so true that Piccolo is really Gohan's father, in terms of, like, you just see the admiration and pride, and it hurt Piccolo's pride, and it hurt mine too, to have to admit it. I'm not gonna lie. When Piccolo's like, I ain't gonna lie, it does hurt a little bit that you was able to, you know, whip down a clone of me that easily. But at the end of the day, come on, like, Gohan has surpassed Piccolo 1,000 times over. I mean, at the end of the Blue Arc alone, Gohan was like a god compared to Piccolo, and it sucks. I want, at some given point, I think if any character at this point in the story deserves like a massive boost, it would be Piccolo at this point. Like, Gohan's had a pretty big boost. Granted, it's not what we would like, and it seems as though it's been a long time, and they're probably never going to steer that way again, since it was like Gohan is the destined one. It's already been kind of confirmed that, like, he's cool with his life on Earth. He's cool with being the family man. Being a fighter isn't his thing, and, you know, we got to accept that. So, hey, if Gohan is just going to be from time to time doing some kick-ass stuff and then going back to the books, can Piccolo get some shine? I'm just saying. And then when OG73 went giant form, maybe I'm just not remembering, but has Piccolo ever canonically done that in the series? I know the only thing that comes to my mind of a Namekian going giant form was Lord Slug. I don't really remember Piccolo ever doing this, but hey, if he did, you know, I'm wrong and I'm just misremembering. But the only thing I remember was like Lord Slug was able to become massive. He was like a super Namekian back in the day, and when he did that, I was just like, big mistake, fam. Like, you just made yourself a giant target. That's why I'm not even that much of a fan of one of the techniques that Vegeta could potentially use that he's learning on Yardrat, of being able to become like really big. Is like, what does that really do? Okay, you might have strength, but you're going to be ridiculously slow, and you just became a gigantic target for whoever you're fighting. So when OG73 did that, I was like, you're kidding, right, fam? Like, you just gave Gohan the ace in the hole. And then this is where the Game Shark, the Game Genie, the cheat codes came in. And I was like, oh, you can't even give Gohan this. You can't even give him the win against some of Moro's flunkies. Moral of the story, we in a galactic prison, okay? Like, why can't Gohan just get the win? I was like, no. When OG73 pulled out the technique that he has apparently now another thing where he can store some, I guess up to 3 abilities. So he had the porcupine looking dude that he can, you know, transfer through dimensions. The Piccolo one ran out just as Gohan was about to blast him down. And then he has Moro's power, which, wow, cheat code and a half, I'm just saying. And it just shows how cheap, in a way, Moro's technique really is, that it don't even gotta be Moro using it. This dude OG73 is using Moro's techniques and it's still ridiculous. He's only draining, what was it? He said when they was over the walkie-talkies to Moro, like, he's only draining 4 people's energy key, whatever. Like, he was only draining, what, Piccolo, Gohan, like a few people there, and he was still able to. That's when Gohan just was like, no good. Even after, like, cause for a bit when they realized, like, they messed up taking Piccolo's abilities, and he was trying, you know, he's with his gigantic arm trying to grab Gohan's neck or whatever, realized that wasn't gonna happen. Gohan is way too much for you. Then again, he pulls out the stops, and I'm like, okay, I guess if we're gonna be cheating now and you're gonna use the big boss's powers, whatever, OG Krusty 3, like, I'm sorry, the Gohan fan in me was just reading this like, how you do my boy like that? He was supposed to get that win, darn it. But it's clear that this was also a major setup for more to come, because yeah, we're getting, I don't want to say a time skip, because time skips in Dragon Ball is like irrelevant. Like, you know how much time has passed in this series, which is dope because we've seen the characters grow up, so many, you know, years have passed or whatnot. But we got a little reprieve, and it was thanks to Piccolo opening up his mouth, because if Piccolo didn't say, oh, you know, you could beat us, but Goku and Vegeta are gonna come back, which it kind of felt a little convenient, I'm not gonna lie. Like, they're on the walkie-talkies, because Moro, it just, I guess it adds to how much of a tyrant he is and how much he just wants to have control of everything, because it's like, even to use the technique that Moro allowed OG73 to copy, and he's like, yo, I don't like people touching my neck. I don't like people touching my neck either. I'm kind of like Moro in that regard. But anyway, it did feel a little bit like convenient, like, oh, so they got a call. But again, it's like, it adds to the same time that Moro just wants everything. He wants to know everything, be in control of everything. And then at that point, it was like, oh, Piccolo opening up his mouth, Goku and Vegeta, which at first I was like, you really telling them what's about to come? You giving them this info? But it turned out to be for their benefit, because then once Moro heard about that, he's like, ooh, a whole bunch of energy key I can be absorbing. So he pulls his man off of there, and Jocko comes in and also adds an extra month to it by saying, hey, that's not enough time. So it goes from what, 20 days to 2 months that they have a reprieve. And honestly, I just felt sour. Like, it was a dope part of the chapter, I'm not denying that. It was awesome to see Gohan, and it was awesome to show that despite the Galactic Prisoner's abilities didn't seem like that credible to begin with, it turned things around in terms of him having that copy of Moro's ability, and it showed that they're a credible threat. But I was just salty as a Gohan fan. I was salty as a Gohan fan, salty as a Piccolo fan, that even after this incredible triumphant moment of Gohan coming in, rushing through, knocking dudes down, they still did it to us. They still did it to us. Shueisha, Jump, Toei, why? Why can't Gohan get that moment? I'm just saying, damn! But it leaves us to have some training. Also, it's setting up for a very big climactic final battle with not only Moro, but also his goons, his squad. So you think about it, when they come back in 2 months, we're going to have the Goku and Vegeta versus Moro, but also it's not just going to be that, because we've already kind of had a bunch of that, Goku and Vegeta solo, and, you know, Merus going up against Moro. Now we're going to have Moro, the Galactic Prisoners coming through, fighting Piccolo, Gohan, and them. We're going to get more training. I am hoping, and this is what I am hoping, the fact that despite Piccolo getting shitted on, despite Gohan getting shitted on, that this can allow for Piccolo to have a huge advancement, as well as Gohan. Gohan, go train with Whis or something. Gohan, go do something because I'm tired of you taking them L's. Likewise with Piccolo. I want to see Piccolo back to that greatness. You know, once upon a time, Piccolo was one of the strongest. Once upon a time, Piccolo was going to initially be the Majin character, and it wasn't going to be Majin Vegeta. It was going to be Majin Piccolo, and he was going to have a gigantic power-up. Can we get something like that to make Piccolo a credible force for Earth's, you know what I'm saying, defenses? I think maybe, just maybe, I'm going to have a little bit of faith that was foreshadowing when Piccolo was like, man, I'm kind of disappointed. A clone of me was beaten that easy by you. Maybe that's some type of small hint, and I know I'm grasping at straws, but maybe that's some small hint that Piccolo is going to get a massive power-up in these 2 months of training that they're about to embark on now that Moro's goons is bouncing and giving that opportunity. So we gotta wait and see on that. And then the last bits of the chapter, there's 2 more bits I guess you could say. We got Goku and Merus. Now they found out the information, but they're gonna have basically 6 months of training because they're going into this 3-day hyperbolic time chamber nonsense or whatever, which 2 months times 3 days, which if 1 day over here equals 3 days in there, yep, 6 months they're gonna have to prepare for this. And it was kind of cool in a way. I mean, it was hinting more and more about Merus' origin when Merus was like, I could eat, I could not eat, it don't really matter because, yeah, the angels, they don't really need to eat. And it was kind of a little out of character, but cool. I thought it was dope for Goku to say, oh, you ain't gonna eat, I ain't gonna eat either, because we know that Goku loves to eat. That's a staple. This dude will shut down your restaurant, your buffet by himself. You know what I'm saying? So a little out of character for Goku to say, we're gonna skip these meals, baby. Let's do these 6 months of training. But I think that'll push Goku to the limit. I mean, maybe it's a forgotten trait, something that's totally not a big deal anymore. But if you go back to OG Dragon Ball, when Goku was hungry, he was kind of useless. Like, he would be just laying there like, I can't do nothing, I'm starving. So there's also going to be pushing past his limits and hopefully get him to that Ultra Instinct. Maybe that will be hilarious. I would love that. And comedy has been kind of stripped from the Dragon Ball story, especially in the manga. It's not really that prevalent, but that would be awesome if one of the things that pushes him beyond his limits into Ultra Instinct is the fact that he is starving and he goes and he's like, alright, yo, I'm going Ultra Instinct, I need to eat already. But lastly, probably the spiciest of the chapter, the ending, when we find out Whis is watching everything and he's watching Goku and Merus train, and he goes to the Grand Priest, baby. You know things is getting real when we're involving Whis and the Grand Priest. And he's like, yo, no, you know, we angels, we don't get involved in the affairs of our universe, which, again, if Merus, which is all in there, if Merus is an angel, he is breaking laws. So he goes to the Grand Priest and he's like, nah, I ain't asking to come help our universe by any means, but I want to know about the laws of angels, right? You know, confirm some stuff. And the Grand Priest already knows about Merus. So it makes me question so many different things. Okay, if the angels, especially the Grand Priest, is already onto Merus, they know that Merus is there and he shouldn't be there, why are they allowing it? Is it that he's on some secret mission to begin with? Is he a fallen angel? Is there something radical about it? Is Merus not a good guy in the end? Maybe he's using this all to his advantage because he has his own motives or goals. Or is it just that he's allowed to be there for a specific reason? What is his exact connection? We know at this point, seemingly he's an angel, but why is he there? Is it because maybe his universe was destroyed, and once your universe is destroyed, you kind of got nowhere to go, so you just settle wherever? Like, what's up with all of this? And your overall thoughts and expectations for the future of Dragon Ball Super? I'm not gonna lie, it was a dope chapter, a little bit shady with certain aspects of like, oh god, the cheat code, they got Moro's power, Gohan was just putting in work, whatever. But that really gets me mad. I wanted Gohan to freaking win. Hopefully this sets up for a bigger victory. Hopefully this sets up for Piccolo to have massive training and a huge power boost to where he's not a inferior product to Gohan. And also Gohan has a better power up. Man, go train with one of the angels. Go train with Beerus. Just go do something, damn it. I want you to win. And your overall thoughts and expectations again. Moro, what's going to happen? How many chapters do you think it's going to take to get past these 2 months? I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the next chapter we're already past the 2 months, because time flies with the manga. Also, no Vegeta in this chapter. How do you feel about that? And just, the insanity, this chapter, it had me on the edge of my seat, and then I could have, like, I don't know, thrown a freaking house at how mad I was that Gohan didn't get that victory. Like, damn. But that's all I have for this one though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter or Instagram or stalk my Facebook. I used to say that. Do I say that anymore? I don't think I say that. And of course, hit that bell if you want to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links of course are in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in, baby. Gohan, get it right. Piccolo, get that power up, baby. I want to see my Namekians win.
Enjoy the next ride, but I was the best ride.